Well, let's talk about Hunter Biden. I want to let the past die, but we need to change topics and talk about Hunter, everyone's favorite prodigal son. As you know, Chris, Lindy Lee, a former Democratic strategist and fundraiser, revealed that Hunter Biden, quote, commandeered the country after Joe Biden's debate performance last year. Of course, Lee's credibility here is questionable. She's accused Donald Trump of terrorizing the Capitol and colluding with Russia. And this is an article that many people are saying, many people clicked on Joe's article, and they were curious about this. What do you think about listening to what she has to say?
I tell you what, it was a little overwhelming to see the zombie past blast into my signal messages at 6:30 this morning after Super Bowl Sunday to wake up to as many work slacks and as many signals as I did about the crackhead president with the baby crying. It was a great morning. But the whole thing came together, and I started looking at it first. At first, I kind of wrote it off a little bit like you did. Like, oh, she's a fundraiser. I mean, what do they know? Although, of course, they are privy to gossip, and she was a very high-level bundler of money for the Democratic Party. But then I started to remember, and my wife covered Hunter Biden for a very long time for the Washington Examiner, that aides were always annoyed at the access that he had. Aides were always chafing, and you'd occasionally see the leaks that Joe Biden takes his advice way too carefully, way too seriously. And then I looked back and saw the June article from NBC right after the debate. And it was kind of funny. The way the NBC poised it is Hunter Biden keeps his father close after disastrous debate performance. Like, look at this loyal son in his father's eyes. They didn't actually decide to craft this as crackhead is the new president running the country. But they did include things like he was sitting in on meetings. He was now a part of this decision process. The kind of thing that you would normally do if your father was running a business and he was on his last few months and he was suffering dementia. But this was different because Hunter Biden is a felon, a crackhead, and an international schemer of all kinds. So not the kind of person you'd want to give a clearance to, but now he's in these meetings making these decisions. And I realized that it's just another one of those wild stories. It actually does vibe. It fits with contemporaneous reporting. And remember, if you're in a courtroom and you can say all you want, well, this guy did this 6 months ago. But if you have a contemporaneous account 6 months ago, you wrote an email to someone saying this guy's doing something, it carries a lot more weight than just remembering back and saying this is the way it was. So that kind of combination of factors doesn't make me think that Hunter Biden was running the country, but he definitely had way more impact than what the American people expected. And it's extremely rich. All these Democrats to be complaining that there's an unelected Elon Musk involved in government. But none of these federal workers are elected. Hunter Biden was not elected. Barack Obama had left office, and the staff who ran Hunter Biden, none of them had election certificates. So it's just rich to hear this line coming from them with all these stories breaking.
Listen, we were promised shock and awe from the Trump White House. We have gotten that, right? All of these Trump executive orders have come out. But the one thing, Bedford, he can't go back and just tell us everything that happened in the Biden White House. So how long are we going to have to wait for like a tell-all book, right? I want to know all of the crazy stories and the real ones that happened in the Biden White House. So how long am I going to have to wait for that?
Oh, I bet you they're working on it right now. Actually, that's a good idea.
Please.
I should reach out to my old publisher and figure that out because you know that once one person launches a salvo that blasts Jill Biden or whatever, she's going to release a book that blasts back. And that's once you get all the fighting and the infighting back and you start to see the back and forth and you see people making money, and that's when you can read them all, parse through the details, and actually figure out where the truth might be somewhere in the middle of all the cat fighting.
Look, I just want to know whose cocaine it was. Was it Kamala's or Hunter's? I mean, I'm open-minded. I just want to know whose coke it was. Very simple.
Poor Hunter Biden. Imagine losing a pack of narcotics at the workplace where it's the White House. You're searching your pocket, like, where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Do they finish it? And then the Secret Service calls? Oh, man. You're too old to be getting in that kind of trouble, Hunter.
All right, Bedford. I just want that for Christmas, that book. Wherever you need to talk to, whoever you need to talk to there in D.C., make that happen. Christmas Day, Christmas morning, this is what I want to be unwrapping. Yeah, well, perfect. That's even better. I can use this over a Christmas break then. Thanks
All
so
right.
much.
I'll get back to you.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Bedford.
See you tomorrow.
When you look at it, all this stuff that's going on with the craziness in D.C., right? We talk about the Democrats at the very beginning of that segment, how they have no idea what they're doing. But then you look at the Republicans and you're like, well, I hope that they know what they're doing at this point. But now you have the House Freedom Caucus taking the lead after Lindsey Graham in the Senate had already said, you know what, I'm going to lead on reconciliation. And at this point in time, it's like Republicans get together, form a plan, and move forward with whatever the plan is, because it's never been easier to look better than the Democrats than right now. And yet they're kind of stumbling over a stack of papers that's less than an inch high.
Let me give you a very simple rule from Professor Peterson about politicians, elected politicians, especially legislators. The vast majority of them need to be told what to do. Someone has to tell them what to do. You may not want to believe that. You may rebel against me and say you want statesmen. But let me just tell you, from the time that I've been walking the earth, most legislators need to be told, most politicians need to be told what to do. And in this case, they're begging for a leader. So God bless the House Freedom Caucus for coming up. But they have to be corralled and told what to do by someone that makes it happen. So if they step up, House Freedom Caucus, to do 2 bills instead of 1, great. But they won't do it themselves as congressional critters the way that they are, at least in our day and age. And that's just the bottom line. And so do they have a plan? No. Someone is going to have to tell them what to do and give them a plan. And if that's the House Freedom Caucus, great. I don't care who it is. But you need to internalize the principle. You have to tell these people what to do.
I'm going to give myself some homework tonight, and I'm going to figure out who they are, the Republicans that never vote for a CR, and just figure this out, because it's going to be very fun, I think, this time to play along at home and just try and see how this is all going to shape up here in the next coming weeks and into the next month here for the Republicans on their sides.